Oh, don't you love that video? The guy talks so fast. I don't know how he does it, but the way he uses lines at the end of the video is so cool too. So there, even though there was so much that he talked about in that video, we're going to focus on just one part of it. So if you remember, there was a part when the speaker said continuous. Do you remember him saying that? Well, that's what we're going to work on. So continuous. So what you're seeing in this picture is a continuous line. That means it keeps going and 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 going. Continuous comes from the word continue, which means to keep going. You're going to continue. Now on this one, you happen to be able to see the start and the stop points of the line, or maybe it's the start and the stop points. Who knows? We don't know which way they drew. But sometimes you can't tell at all. So if those two lines actually met, then we wouldn't know where the beginning or the end is. Kind of like a racetrack, how it keeps going and going and going and going and going because it's continuous. So, like for example, let's say over here, what if that had been the start and stop points? But we didn't know because the artist joined the two lines together, the two ends. So there's a lot of ways that you can create a continuous line, and we're going to work through some together, but there's some really important parts of it. So here's another example of a continuous line. Let me move my face out of the way. And this one happens to the ends meet. So take a second to study it. I think I might have figured out where the artist connected the two ends of the line, but it is continuous. It keeps going and going and going and going. And you're going to draw a continuous line also. So I'm going to show you on the next slide. I'll actually demonstrate. But keep in mind, there's a couple things I'm going to do. I'm going to draw really slowly and very carefully. And my line is going to be curvy. That means kind of rounded. Wait, I can't get this. There we go. I can never figure out where my hand is. And it's going to have some loop-de-loops. I don't know if that's a real word. That's something that I grew up with my dad saying all the time, loop-de-loops. It's kind of like on a roller coaster, how it loop-de-loops around. And sometimes you go upside down and then you come back around. But yeah, loop-de-loops. So curvy line with loop-de-loops in there. So that's what we're going to draw. So take a minute. Well, don't take a minute. Take 15 seconds. You got to go fast. And get yourself a piece of paper and something to draw with. So I happen to have a plain white piece of paper, and I'm going to use a marker. But if I use a marker, I cannot erase. So you decide if you're using a pencil or a pen. If you were in my class right now, I would not let you use two pieces of paper. So we always take our mistakes and turn them into something. So it's up to you. You're at home, and I cannot control how many pieces of paper you're using. But I would challenge you to try to get it right the first time. And you can if you draw slowly and carefully. There's nothing wrong with my camera. That was just me being silly. Okay, I'll meet you back here in about 15 seconds. Hurry, go get yourself something to draw with and something to draw on. And then, this is the awkward moment where I can never remember how to pause this thing.